Hey guys, and welcome to the Working Money Channel. Wyckoff Classic, this one coming from David Valiers. What he's noticing, guys, on the Bitcoin chart, and I know Bitcoin has not been performing the way we're, I guess, probably expecting it to at this point in time. What he's noticing, though, and what he is projecting here on this chart is that this could be a classic Wyckoff pattern here if you extend out that trend now. On this chart, it's kind of difficult to do because I do have it on log and I do have it on automatic here, and I'm not going to try to mimic this, but this is basically the Bitcoin chart here. You guys can see that very tall volume bar here from August the 5th, or was it the 4th or the 5th? Yeah, August the 5th, that Black Monday, where we saw that huge sell-off. What he is suggesting, though, is that at this point in time, once we do see this retest, which is where we are at right now, could we possibly see the Federal Open Market Committee first cut rate occur in the coming month? I mean, we are already projecting October to be a bullish month for Bitcoin. Then moving further into quarter 4 of 2024, could we see some other cuts that would in fact help raise the price of Bitcoin? Of course, it is always that question, right? What is going to come first? And how does the narrative speak to the price? Does price speak to narrative, or does narrative speak to price? Well, I mean, at least as of the time of this recording, we are seeing a bit of a recovery here for Bitcoin, albeit not by much. Quite small, if you were to ask me. Right now, Bitcoin is trading in and around $54,300. So a far cry from where we were last weekend, in and around $65,000. And, a few weeks before that, Bitcoin had topped. I don't know if you guys remember this this week of tragedy for Bitcoin, when we were back at $70,000, and then it only took about 7 days for us to go right back down to $49,000. So it has been a bit of a whirlwind. Of course, crypto markets are reacting too. The market cap is now $1.94 trillion. It's up by a little bit since yesterday, albeit not by much. We had been over $2 trillion for quite a while, and then all of a sudden, boom, market cap came right back down. You can see the 24-hour volume has died off too, so not a lot of trading activity now. Bitcoin dominance is still languishing at 55.6. Fear has actually gone up a little bit from yesterday. So yesterday, we did see the bulk of fear in the high 20s. Now we're at 35. You guys can see there is a mix of green and red on the charts here. XRP is down by a little bit within the last 24 hours, still trading above 50 cents, though, at 0.528. So that is positive news. I mean, we do still have to remember that it is September, and September is historically bearish, guys. I saw this from Rect Capital, giving us a 1 minute short here, and I do suggest you check out his channel here. There is a link in the description of this tweet. But here it is, solidifying what we are to expect this coming month. I mean, there's only 3 weeks left. Listen to this.
Bitcoin has recently broken down from its current market structure, so let's talk about how does that tie in with historical downside that we tend to see in September. We're currently down 6%. This downside of 6% is very similar to the downside that we've seen in 2022, 2021, 2020, as well as 2018 and 2017. Out of the past 11 times that we've seen 7% downside, this could be the 4th time. It is a historically recurring figure that we see 7% drawdown. 19% downside, of course, was the worst ever, and it happened in a bear market. 13% is something we saw in a pre-halving year. We have a halving year right now, so can we really compare them? If we look at 4-year cycles, of course, this candle for the halving year candle tends to break beyond the 3-year resistance of the 4-year cycle. So 1, 2, 3, right here, once again, we have a 3-year resistance around the 46K region, and we've finally broken it in candle 4.
So that is interesting. I mean, looking at the 4-year cycle, the candlestick charts on the yearly, and breaking above a resistance here. So he has numbered those candles out. Guys, ultimately, it is just a matter of time. We are going to break out of this pattern. I know it feels like a lot at this moment, but I mean, even just looking at the total market cap here, everything in crypto is just kind of settling down for the moment. We aren't seeing a dramatic drop, similar to what we saw back in 2021. So, for those naysayers out there saying it is the end, the beginning of the end, no. What the end generally does show us is that, we do make this, this is just one of the patterns that we could see, the head and shoulders pattern, which was clear back in 2021. We did have to make those lower lows. There was a lot of anticipation getting up back above all-time highs. And here we're not seeing, we're seeing the lower lows, but we're not actually seeing that same kind of euphoria denoted with a huge swing to the downside, another move to the upside, and then trying to get back up above those levels. In this case, it's almost like we do have to take a breather after this big move to the upside. So I would almost suggest that we're forming, still forming a bullish pennant pattern. I mean, save for a few liquidity events here, wicking down past the bottom of the flag. But guys, again, this is all par for the course. I wanted to thank Rect Capital for posting that. Yesterday, guys, I did talk a little bit about Chris Larson endorsing Kamala Harris. Now, I know many of you guys probably were blindsided by that announcement. If you guys didn't catch the video I did on that, I will link it up here in the top right-hand corner. Ito Farina, though, coming out here. Chris Larson, Ripple's executive chair and co-founder, is featured as a member of the IMF's high-level advisory group on finance and technology. So, kind of just more to my point from yesterday, I was mentioning that Chris Larson was part of the WEF. But again, guys, all these large organizations, they're all coordinated. Look at who else is part of this high-level advisory committee. We've got Jeremy Allaire from Circle. So, the main stablecoin in cryptocurrency. We've got Dr. Long Chen from Alibaba. BBVA is a Ripple partner too, and they have a representative there. DTCC, of course, there is a connection to Ripple. The U.S. Department of the Treasury, Bank of Indonesia, the ECB, and then some crypto companies here, On-Chain Digital Asset, OECD, Ripple, of course. MIT is a big one too, Monetary Authority of Singapore. We know there is a connection to Ripple on the MAS. Ripple is also connected to the Bank of Canada here. And we've also got, I actually got two representatives from the Monetary Authority of Singapore, not to mention many other huge significant connections to the IMF. So, I'm bullish on XRP. I'm sure a lot of you guys are too, just based on the connection, just based on everything we've seen over the years. And again, I do have to keep saying this because I know the sentiment does get lower when we don't see, these prices move to the upside. But really, guys, this is just the beginning of a longer journey. And, the first part of that journey is going to be the spec run. For more information on what I'm doing, you can follow me at patreon.com/workingmoneychannel for all the moves that I'm going to be making. My plan moving forward into the fourth quarter of 2024 and then into 2025. Of course, XRP is the lion's share of my portfolio, meaning I do hold the most XRPs, so I do have to be very, very strategic about that particular move. Want to keep moving along, guys. John Deaton here did post this. Absolutely love being in studio with the great Charles Payne. Charles is 100%. Elizabeth Warren's policies have helped the wealthy but have crushed working families and devastated the poor. The last time I checked, the wealth gap keeps getting bigger, guys. And here's a clip from John Deaton on Fox Business just yesterday.
My next guest just won the GOP primary to take on Elizabeth Warren for a U.S. Senate seat. I want to bring in our Republican Senate candidate from Massachusetts, John Deaton. My man, congratulations.
Thank you, Charles. It was a good victory, but
It's
that's
a hell of a victory.
It's not the reason I got in the race.
But why did you win? Why did voters resonate with you?
Because I am the walking, living, and breathing embodiment of the American dream. 65% of the voters got together. They see that I can beat Elizabeth Warren. I know a lot of people doubt that, Charles, but it can be done. No one's unbeatable.
Right. Okay, so there's one thing to win the GOP primary.
Right.
How do you get enough in the state? Because a lot of people just feel like this is voting, for the same old person. I don't know that they even know the issues anymore.
Well, the problem is, though, illegal immigration, inflation. Massachusetts is now second most expensive state to live in. It's crushing us. And this is what's happened, Charles. They went so far left, they've offended center-left folks. And if they see a reasonable, common-sense alternative, they're voting for them. And that's me.
I'm going to leave it there. I mean, I just wanted to show you guys the confidence John Deaton has. I mean, he did get 65% of the votes. And if you guys are perhaps interested in donating to John Deaton's campaign, he has not paid me to do this. I just think we need somebody there in Washington representing Massachusetts. I mean, specifically just to get Elizabeth Warren out of there. And you guys can, donate with cryptocurrency even if you want. So I thought I'd just, bring up that update. John Deaton's got a very promising opportunity here. So I hope he wins. I do not live in Massachusetts. Unfortunately, otherwise I'd be voting for John Deaton. Anyway, wanted to keep moving along, guys. With regards to Ripple and their Asian tour, people will want to hold yen stablecoins, and I think that is only a matter of time. Brad Garlinghouse did recently respond to some questions in an interview over there in Japan. As you guys know, representatives from Ripple have been touring in Japan recently. The Ripple CEO, Brad Garlinghouse, believes that Japan presents a promising market for stablecoins and anticipates strong demand for the Japanese yen stablecoin next. However, he refrained from making any promises about a Ripple stablecoin within Japan just until the firm launches one in the United States. And I think, a lot of this is going to depend on the stablecoin regulation in the U.S. I think that is first and foremost the thing that all crypto companies based in the United States are eyeing. before they do, finally go ahead with their launch. Here's a clip. Crypto Eddie did post this. I have no doubt SBI Group is positioned to be one of the biggest partners for multiple types of stablecoins in Japan. Again, Brad Garlinghouse, guys, listen to this.
We already have used stablecoins in our payment flows for certain corridors, depending upon whether you're going to the Australian dollar or the Philippine peso. Certain corridors, it's more efficient to use a stablecoin at times. So we always use what's best for the customer, and we decided to go live and build our own stablecoin, and excited to get live with that this year.
So if you're imagining a stablecoin in Japan, what's the time frame?
Well, I think right now, Ripple in particular is focused on let's get live with the US dollar stablecoin. Okay. But I think people will want to hold yen stablecoins, and I think that's only a matter of time. And I think the regulators here in Japan, again, about a year ago, passed some legislation around that, and there's some companies going through the licensing process right now to get live.
A lot of the companies that are involved in this space in Japan are larger corporations. Is that sort of a concern, not having the smaller, innovative guys take the lead?
Well, I think what you're seeing is some of the bigger guys partnering with the smaller innovative companies. Ripple, way back in 2016, partnered with SBI, one of the largest and most successful banking conglomerates here, and really across a lot of financial services here in Japan. And that's been a really successful partnership for us and for them. So we feel like it makes sense when you enter some of these markets to partner with some of the bigger guys. And that's true in Korea, that's true in Japan. Depending on what market you go into, we try to figure out what's the best way to enter.
We're partnering with lawmakers, regulators, central banks to construct the framework that makes these fungible digital currency units work. The same thing is coming in Japan, where they actually have like a foreign currency stablecoin framework and a whole reserve model. So USDC can be reserved for Japanese holders. So basically, you're seeing all these governments stand up these frameworks, and it's a really exciting thing because we're building the internet financial system.
As for the partnership with Circle, a U.S. company, for stablecoins, we also reached a basic agreement on November 21st of last year. Our group also has a bank, which is the SBI Bank. In addition, electronic payment methods, trading operations, assets under application, high-price traders, and all of these things must be in place to do this business. We will be the only company with a significant license to handle stablecoins.
All right, so a few clips there. The first one, as you guys probably noticed, Brad Garlinghouse talking about the relationship with Japan, but also how stablecoins are going to be very, very important moving forward in Asia. The second clip there had Jeremy Allaire of Circle discussing the regulations. And of course, this last clip, that is Yoshitaka Katao of SBI. So they are the company that Ripple did partner with all the way back in 2016. And they see a future for stable coins as well. So, most likely we are going to see this RLUSD roll out first. I think that is Ripple's first priority. But guys, another clip here from that same Brad Garlinghouse interview. Our customers are banks, financial institutions, and payment providers, and we are going to be using XRP. Brad Garlinghouse did state that first and foremost. This one courtesy of Jack the Rippler. Listen to this.
Exact ratio. We think about our business as a very global business. 95% of our customers are non-U.S. customers. About 40% of our business is in the Asia-Pacific region in terms of payment flows. And again, our customers, Ripple, the company, our customers are banks, financial institutions, payment providers. We use the XRP ledger and we use the token XRP to kind of facilitate these transactions. Some people get confused about which is which, but Ripple, the company, our customers are all these banks and financial institutions.
Ripple's customers are banks and financial institutions, but as you guys heard, Brad Garlinghouse did say we use XRP and the XRP ledger to facilitate those transactions. So, they're working with banks. This has been, these have been the talking points from the beginning. They're working with banks. They're, leveraging their partnerships. It takes time to change the financial system, but, we're already seeing it change. It is positive that guys like Chris Larson from Ripple are on the high-level advisory committee over there at the IMF. So, this all just kind of plays into what we are going to see globally and, what we are going to eventually see for the XRP cryptocurrency, on top of which we are seeing more developments, more interoperability. Mr. Min here bringing this to our attention. XRP used on the XRPL EVM sidechain adds so much more use for XRP in the Ethereum ecosystem. So, when you hear EVM, you think Ethereum, you think, oh, they're a competitor, you think, maybe some of you guys are thinking about the Joseph Lubin stuff and ETHgate and all that. Don't think about that. Okay, think about building. Think about how much more utility there is going to be driven to XRP. That is the most important thing. That is what's going to get demand higher. That is what's going to get the price higher. So David Schwartz does explain that in this Blockstars clip. I don't know who he's talking to here, but I wanted to play you guys this quick 30-second clip. Listen to this.
Then it's important that we have a place to put all this. XRPL can have it through amendments, but it's a more complex process in terms of scalability, and smart contracts can be a very cheap and fast way to bring these things on chain while being on the XRPL ecosystem.
For example, you could build an XRP collateralized stablecoin very quickly on the side chain, whereas building it on the main chain would be very complicated, and you'd have to get a consensus that it's a benefit to the ecosystem as a whole, whereas it might just be useful for something you're doing.
Yeah, that's a perfect example.
So we are seeing the continued development occur. Wanted to thank Mr. Mann, of course, Jack the Rippler, Crypto Eddie, Michael Branch, and everybody else involved here. Ido Farina, John Deaton, Rect Capital, and who was the first one here? Yeah, David Valiers. Now, guys, the other thing I happened to see was a new update from Ripple partner Flutterwave, and they've just added Amex to their Nigerian payment options. Now, for those of you guys who do not know, American Express, or Amex, did partner up with Ripple back in November of 2017. Fast forward, and now we have Flutterwave, an African payments technology company. They've recently announced that their online merchants in Nigeria can now accept American Express payments. So Flutterwave is a Ripple partner. We know Amex is a Ripple partner. And now they're just all of a sudden accepting payments. American card members with customer business or corporate cards can make payments directly to e-commerce businesses using Flutterwave in Nigeria. This service will soon be available to merchants in other African nations like Tanzania, Rwanda, Ghana, and Uganda. Merchants can attract business from a new customer base of American Express members in Africa and around the world. This includes customers with some personal cards and spenders with business or corporate products. So, guys, this is just expanding the ecosystem. I don't know if DLT technology, it probably is being used in the back end here, considering these are two major Ripple partners. I mean, American Express was one of those early Ripple partners that wanted to be able to have a leg up way back then, before DLT technology really kind of came into its own. Flutterwave has been a trailblazer in Africa too, and has did decide to partner with Ripple fairly early on, I think. But now, guys, we're seeing American Express continue to expand in Africa and enable greater payment choice for businesses and customers. Is coming from Brianna Wisely, Vice President and General Manager in the EMA region for American Express. She said, through the agreement with Flutterwave, a trusted payment provider, we are giving e-commerce merchants in Nigeria the opportunity to reach American Express cardholders around the world. The collaboration is a win-win because it also increases the number of places where our card members can use their cards in Nigeria. So, if they plan on, rolling out into other countries as well, especially countries with exotic fiat currencies, I mean, it would only make sense to, streamline this opportunity, leveraging a new type of technology like DLT. Anyway, wanted to keep moving along, guys. This has been, a question that some of my Patreon subscribers have asked me. When are you cashing out of your XRP? What is the plan? Well, guys, again, over there at patreon.com, I'm going to be outlining my plan specifically. And, that could happen at any moment. Basically, I'm waiting for Bitcoin to start rallying again, and then I'm going to make decisions based on multiple factors. For those of you guys interested, you can follow me at patreon.com/workingmoneychannel. Cashing out at $10, I mean, there are so many ways we can look at price. Some, of course, look at the Fibonacci, for example. The most recent high for XRP was back in April of 2021. It did not reach an all-time high, but, throwing a Fibonacci just on there, you guys can see the top price could reach around $7 per coin. And, traditionally, this is, a way to measure price movement. Even if you line up the Fibonacci from the all-time high, a lot of these levels do coordinate with what we saw in 2020 and 2021. Ripple Lord here also saying, how high will XRP pump this year, since we saw the 2017 fractal pumps to $3, making a shocking 4,500% wave. So this is the other factor too. Okay, we are looking at these triangular patterns, very, very similar to what we saw in 2014 up until 2017 when it just kind of blew up. And, the XRP community expecting something like this, even to the point where analysts are suggesting anywhere between $50 and $57 per XRP. Now, this one courtesy of Michael Branch. I just wanted to bring you guys this thesis, and then I'm going to look at the charts to see if it's even doable. This is coming from somebody called Anonymix, or Amonix, I guess. He's a well-known analyst who recently shared a detailed technical analysis on X, forecasting a price target of about $50 to $57 for XRP during this market cycle. Now, he's put up these two bands here, if you guys can see that there on the chart, and he's saying at the top end, we are going to see roughly $57. Now, he was estimating anywhere between 50 and 57. And if we go back to this idea, right, that, we are in this triangular pattern, if we are to expect that, based on history, we could see something similar. Can we, in fact, get to anywhere between $50 and $57 per coin? So guys, I've got the XRP chart up here on the daily, and I know if we are to consider that triangular pattern, the one from 2014 to 2017, and we are to consider, this being the major move to the upside, okay, I'm going to just take a fractal pattern there and just superimpose it here on the chart. Now, something that I find very, very interesting, not necessarily these highs here, but where these levels do retrace. Okay, if I were to just put a Fibonacci here on the chart, you guys can see here how very, very close these levels do. If I can zoom in here on the fractal pattern, you guys can see that in there. There is a retracement once it does hit the 0.382. We can see here that this top level almost gets up to the 2.618. Okay, then it retraces down. And this is interesting because, just even if it doesn't go to these prices, it is interesting to see that the Fibonacci does in fact check out when we do see these price levels hit. I'm going to bring you guys BNB coin for a second because this is a good example of what I want to demonstrate here in the last bull run, guys. Now, I want to mention that this was one of my best trades. Actually, I think it was my best trade in the last bull run. What I noticed here was that, throwing a Fibonacci on the most recent high at that time, okay, the top of the market in 2018 for Binance Coin, you could see it blew past the full Fibonacci. It blew past the 4.236 and made even higher highs. And I ended up trading my BNB coin up here. So had I, purchased in and around here, and my original target was, in fact, the top of the Fibonacci at around $91 per coin. But then I noticed that it was going higher, and so I did not pull the trigger. What I noticed, guys, and it went even higher than this, if I line up the bottom, okay, with the 0.236, which is a very aggressive way to kind of look at targets, you guys can see here, if I zoom in on the BNB coin chart, you guys can see that even this level here, it did retrace up there at the 3.618. It did come back down to the 2.618, and then it finally made some new highs. Now, I ended up cashing out up here. A lot of those coins were pumping at the time, but the fact that I had to readjust the Fibonacci, right, in an aggressive market, this could be something that we see for this next XRP bull run, just depending on, the narrative, depending on a lot of things, depending on how bullish this market could get. And if you guys take a look at this, if I were to put that up there, or actually, no, that was the second one. Let me actually just remove this Fibonacci here, and I'm going to bring it from the original all-time high, okay, all the way down to the trough of the market. And I want to just show you guys this for a second. So bringing that up there, you guys can see a lot of these retrace levels still retrace there at the top. But if I bring that up and I make it, an aggressive scenario where I bring the Fibonacci, the 0.236, all the way up to the all-time high, and you guys can even see those retracements, okay, in and around here, boom, came back down to this level, which is at a retracement line, just kind of meandered in and around this level here before it started making its way up. And guys, if I zoom in even closer here, you guys can see, the possibility for this. Look at that, how that just magically lines up with these lines here. And even down here, pop went up above that line, came right back down, right in here, the 4.236. And guys, where does that actually bring us? Boom, $58 per coin. So, I mean, in an aggressive scenario, I could totally see an XRP going anywhere between $50 and $57 per coin. I mean, even just, looking at this quick analysis here. And again, this is not what I'm projecting. This is not, I'm not saying that it's going to go to this for sure. But, just based on these Fibonacci retracement zones, based on an aggressive scenario, possibly we could see something, because now we have clarity for XRP in the United States. We know the US is the biggest market to purchase cryptocurrency, and all the crypto exchanges that were not listing XRP back in 2021 at this point in time are now listing it today. Is $50 to $57 possible? We are seeing a potential route to get there, but that's just my opinion. I want to hear what you guys think. Please subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Like the video if you like the content I'm providing. I always love hearing your comments. See you in the next one, guys.